Let's play the 10-year test. New York upzones, 7 to 12 years later, roughly 4 to 8% more units, only when the allowable density jumped a lot. Zurich's big upzones, real gains, small changes, shrugs. In the next minutes, I'll show you why scale, location, and the right policy bundle decide if you get homes or headlines. Spoiler, the supply curve doesn't care about press conferences. If you want near-term affordability, you'll need more than a map with new colors. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. You've seen the map turn color overnight, so why do the cranes show up like it's waiting at the DMV? Here's the pitch you get in high-cost states. Rezone now, relief tomorrow. Politicians roll out the rainbow-colored map and promise instant shovels. You expect the excavators to roll in next month, permits flying, rents easing by summer. That's the fantasy. The market runs on a different clock. So, here's the thing. The data flips the script. When New York upzoned, the boost in units showed up years later, not months, and the bump landed only when the density jump was big enough to justify the pain. Modest changes barely registered. Big jumps mattered. Let that sink in. Why the drag? Land doesn't behave like an app update. The second you upzone, landowners price in the future. Option value spikes. That's econ speak for this dirt might be worth a lot later. Sellers sit tight. Buyers get picky. Everyone wants to capture the upside, which means waiting for the right deal, the right block, the right financing window. On the ground, the sequence is slow. First, you need parcels that actually fit a real building, not a Tetris nightmare. That means assembling lots across multiple owners who move at different speeds. Then, you deal with leases. Tenants don't vanish. You wait out expirations, negotiate buyouts, or restructure. Next comes the entitlement queue. Even with a cleanup zone, you still need approvals, utilities, and all the little sign-offs that somehow fall on a Tuesday when the desk is short-staffed. Financing needs its own season. Lenders love certainty and hate half-baked pro formas. Only then do you break ground, and construction is its own clock with weather delays, supply hiccups, and a contractor who swears the elevator will arrive soon. Small versus big changes tell the story. Where cities increased capacity in a meaningful way, real jumps, not rounding errors, the market eventually responded with more units. Where they nudged rules a little, buyers saw sizzle, not steak. You end up with higher land quotes and not much concrete. It's the difference between adding a new lane to the freeway and repainting the shoulder. Think of it like unlocking storage on your phone. Great, you made space, but you still have to download the apps, and your Wi-Fi is slow. That's upzoning. The capacity is there. The pipeline still loads at human speed. In New York, studies found that bigger FAR increases produced stronger effects while weak or spot upzonings barely made a dent. The pattern held. The market needs a step change to cover the friction costs of redevelopment. Inch up and nothing pencils. Jump up and projects can carry demolition, relocations, and higher debt service. It's arithmetic, not vibes. Zurich backs this up. When capacity rose by 50% or more, the city saw meaningful growth in living space years down the line. Not next spring. Years later. That's the catch. Incremental tweaks look nice at a press conference and then fade into statistical yawns. And then there's São Paulo. Go broad, citywide, and you actually see the permit machine wake up. Not a frenzy, but a clear ramp. Gaps between upzoned and control areas opened within a year and kept widening. The momentum built because the rules reset across large areas, not just a handful of corners, so builders could plan portfolios, not one-offs. So the takeaway is simple and a little painful. Upzoning works on a long horizon. You'll see visible gains closer to year 7 through 12, not year 1 or 2. It's real, it's happening, it's just slow. Which raises the real question we have to answer next. If time is the tax, what actually speeds or stalls the build-out? What if the upzone works on paper, but developers ghost the zone anyway? Here's the play. 3 levers decide if anything actually gets built: scale, location, and strings. Make the upzone big enough to change math. Put it where demand is real. And don't tape fees and rules onto it like a luggage tag you forgot to remove. Miss any one of those, and projects walk. Not because developers hate housing, but because spreadsheets don't lie. Seattle is the caution sign in neon. The city tied new capacity to mandatory housing affordability fees. Build more, but also pay or include below-market units. Sounds balanced. But here's the catch. Builders rerouted. Near the edges of those MHA zones, permits fell hard as projects hopped across the line to dodge costs. We're talking a sharp border effect that stripped activity from the exact blocks meant to grow. The city drew a bigger box, then made the box expensive. Surprise, people built just outside the box. And the hit wasn't spread evenly. Multifamily took the blow. Townhouses, small apartments, duplexes. The stuff that fills gaps and hits price points below trophy towers. When those deals stop penciling, you don't just lose units, you lose the rung on the ladder. So the map says more homes, but the permit tracker says, not here. Location sets the ceiling on pain tolerance. In a hot core, you can stack density and even carry some fees because rents are strong and lenders believe. Move to the fringe or a softer submarket, and every added cost becomes a deal killer. Add one fee too many, or leave parking minimums in place, and the pro forma goes red. That's when landowners lean on option value, hold for tomorrow's price, and the lot becomes a gravel sculpture garden for years. Chicago tells a similar story in a different accent. Smaller upzones juiced prices downtown but barely moved the needle on production outside the strongest areas. Translation: capacity without economics is vibes. If the rent line doesn't clear land, fees, and construction, capacity is just a nice story for a planning PDF. New York proves the heterogeneity point the hard way. Some districts got the green light and nothing happened. Why? Weak demand on the block, chopped up parcels, or sites that need costly teardowns. Without buyer depth and buildable lots, the density gift sits unopened. You can't finance a wish. Now flip to Auckland. Broad citywide allowances didn't just look bold. They sped up permits where attached housing already had momentum. That's the combo. Big coverage so builders can plan across neighborhoods, plus a market that wants townhomes and flats. The response showed up fastest in those attached types because the runway was already there. Scale created certainty. Certainty created pipelines. Think of strings like weights on a runner. A few in the right place build strength. Too many or on the wrong muscle and you hobble the stride. Big, broad upzoning plus fewer frictions beats tiny, fee-laden patches every time. Get the location wrong, strap costs onto the weakest markets, and you're not doing housing policy, you're doing self-sabotage. So if you need near-term relief, you don't slap a color on a map and call it a day. You roll out the bundle that actually clears the runway. Scale that changes math, siting where demand absorbs it, and strings light enough that projects sprint instead of stall. And once the path is clear, tighten the screws where rents can carry the weight without smothering the pipeline.